Things I wished I knew when I was starting out music. Number one, if you're first starting out, all that matters is what you think about your songs and your sound. There are a lot of different people that will try to have different opinions and steer you in different directions, but unless you're looking for advice or techniques on how to improve your sound, you don't need to worry about it. If you like a particular guitar, stick with it. If you like a particular bass or keyboard, stick with it. If you want to do soft music, do soft music. There are a lot of people that'll try to tell you, do it like this, do it like that. And that can be one of the biggest hindrances. As a producer or a songwriter, musician, any of those, it's really important that you're able to trust yourself. And how you're able to trust yourself is by taking chances, trying out different things over time, and then tweaking it to where you get it just the way that you want it. Eventually, you become really familiar with how you like your guitar to sound, how you like your bass to sound, or whatever instrument you have. But in order to get to that step, it's important to listen to yourself instead of listening to others. Number two, if you're getting into hardware recording with analog equipment, I recommend starting off with a mixing board first. I started off with everything but the mixing board, but what you'll find if you get a mixing board is typically it has on it preamplifiers, EQs, in some cases compressors. It has ports on it for effects units, so you can save a lot of time and money than having to go out and get individual EQs and other stuff like that. Mixing boards also have what's called console saturation, which means it basically has its own signature color and character built into the mixing board. So if you start off with a good mixing board, it's perfect. I also recommend going through your owner's manual and reading it carefully. As you're doing this, you're learning to master your mixing board, and you may find that anything else you get as far as hardware and other equipment is just icing on top of the cake. But you can get most things done with a good, solid mixer. Number three, when it comes to microphone techniques, you can get so much done with just moving around your microphone placement and using different rooms that you might find you don't need to use EQs or as many compressors. You may even find you don't need to use reverb and effects. And that's because so much of the sound can be shaped just by moving around the microphone. So experiment with putting the microphone overhead, below you, at different angles, trying out different rooms, different buildings if you can to record in. You might get the exact sound that you want built in just by moving and positioning the microphone. So I would definitely play around with different microphone techniques because that will save a lot of time and a lot of money. If you can get the vocals to sound just the way you want them out of the box, you might find that later on you don't need to go through and make as many tweaks and adjustments. Every time you're making tweaks and adjustments to the song in the mix, sometimes you're taking away little bits or changing it from the original feeling of the song. Number four, if you're a mixer and you're working with different compressors, different EQs, you don't need to use standardized techniques that other people use. It's good to learn different techniques that are standard practices at the beginning, but it's really important to keep in mind that the reason why a lot of engineers had things set a certain way and kept things set in stone was because they had commercial studios where they had to use a signature uniform sound with various artists. If you're doing it for only a few artists, or if you run a project studio or doing it for yourself, it allows you a lot more freedom and creativity to change up the settings the way that you want them. So yes, it is really helpful to learn standard practices and techniques. After that, don't be afraid to tweak your compressors, tweak your EQs to taste. This is something that's really important to know. Last but not least, the biggest thing that's helped me in mixing particularly is reference mixes. The best mixes that I've had, it's times where I've used reference mixes. So how I normally select a reference mix is I'll take 2 to 3 songs that sort of fit the vibe and the type of mix that I think will work with the song that I'm mixing, and I compare it lightly throughout the different mix. So I don't overly rely on it. I'm not trying to make my mix sound exactly like the ones that I'm using, but I'll compare it every now and again to make sure that I'm staying on track. Those are the mixes that tend to go the smoothest and tend to be the most consistent with the result that I was going for. So those are 5 things that would have really helped me if I would have known them sooner So these tips apply to if you're writing music, recording music, or if you are beginning engineer, or even someone that's been mixing and engineering for a while. These are things that I wished I had known sooner. I hope you have an awesome, cool, fun, amazing rest of the day. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Check out my other videos on mixing, mastering, behind the scenes, music production, and more. And I will talk to you soon. Till next time, bye-bye.